Hello, my dear Virgo. This is your love and spirituality reading for the month of September 2018 with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. So we are entering the Virgo season, so happy birthday all you Virgos, and thank you all for liking, watching, subscribing and commenting to my videos. I'm also grateful. And I read for the signs in order of most liked videos, so don't forget to hit the thumbs up button for your sign. And you can see the order I read in this time around at the community section of my channel. This reading can go both ways, so if I tell you that you are feeling or acting in a certain way, it can be in the reverse, that the person you are dealing with is feeling and acting in that way. The energy is the same, it's just different castings to the different roles by the universe. When I open the deck here, I see the Hermit together with 9 of Wands. So Hermit is your card, Virgo, it's number 9, as is for month of September. And the 9 of Wands is also connected to the Hermit card. So it seems like you're a little bit defensive and you might prefer being alone with your own company. It might be that you're easily feeling wounded by other people, and that is causing you also to withdraw inside yourself. And here with the 9 of Wands, it's usually this, that when we have got hurt by someone or some person in the past, maybe we start to become a little bit defensive and we are taking measurements so we won't be hurt again. But this can actually fuel a cycle of repetition where you are expecting to get hurt and therefore get hurt. Or you are, for example, we have this example of jealousy. Jealousy is a very good example in this situation, because if we are jealous and we think our partner, for example, will be cheating, we will have this kind of attitude towards them and come with the thorns out and tell them, like, this is how you are, this is what you have done to me. It doesn't have to be cheating, but this is just an example. Because of you aiming your thorns towards them, they can actually eventually they will start to feel like, what the heck, I can be unfaithful because I already get this much crap for it. So I'm not saying that this is what you are doing. I'm just wanting you to be aware that sometimes when we are really scared of something, we actually make it happen with our own actions or our own attitude. But this is not all bad. I'm thinking this is about you starting to take better care of yourself and, listen inside with this. This is the light of your attention. You have the moonlight here also. So it's like you're putting attention to your inside and your feelings and what's hurtful, and you're starting to protect yourself. So it's a good step. It's just that before you probably did this anyway unconsciously, but maybe now it becomes more conscious that you know that you don't trust this person, or you know that you are fearful in this situation. So it's a better situation for you when you become aware. So I call the divine with love and light. And here we see the 7 of Pentacles with 9 of Wands. So 7 of Pentacles is like winter time. Nothing is really happening. And why nothing is happening might be because you are living behind your shelter here. 7 of Pentacles, it's indicated that you might want to start to prepare for better times, or maybe start to envision better times. This person in the 7 of Pentacles card is cutting down a mistletoe with a skite. So preparing for the winter jewel, the festival of the midwinter solstice. And when we put this up in the doorways at Christmas time, people can kiss underneath it and start calling in spring. So instead of having this a little bit bitter attitude, it's suggested that you should use this time when you anyway doesn't feel up for partying or being with other people or being particularly festive, to prepare for a time when you will have other needs, when you will get spring to your heart. So how do you do this? It might be like an very easy practice is to start to notice what you like in your everyday surrounding, how your sheets feels against your body when you sleep, or how the breakfast tastes, or the sunlight in the morning. So these small things, if you can start to feel like gratitude for it in your heart, not so that you should show gratitude to someone else, just inside of you, you will start to prepare for better times to come. Okay, it's putting you in a right kind of frequency to receive spring in your life. So I called the 4 archangels, and here spring comes in the 4 corners of the world. And we have the lady, and the 7 of Pentacles is sometimes depicted as pregnancy, which we can also see on the card for the lady. So, and this is springtime. So you are in a bit of shelter maybe right now, not being so social, feeling maybe a little bit bitter, a little bit torn, but you're also building up your strength. And eventually here, when you have built up your strength, you're also going to start to want to prepare for better days, when you don't have to be a warrior, when you don't have to be an Iron Maiden. In Swedish, the virgin word is put together by 2 words. Young, that's kind of flash or light or iron, and maiden, that's a woman. So Iron Maiden, it's and it's not the coffin thing, it's more the John the Ark thing, because in Sweden in olden days also women were warriors, so, and especially young women that haven't had children just yet. So, and this warrior is now preparing to not be a warrior anymore, but actually become a mother. So it's something with you that's starting to aim towards less conflicts, and you like what you don't like with other people, and more to aim towards what you like and what you want to make out of your life, like what kind of prosperity you want to create there. So I call the 6 elements, and here we have also the Princess of Wands. So the Princess of Wands is this kind of energy. It's not a warrior-like energy. It's more like a messenger, maybe messenger of this spring, and you know, a more social life. Things actually starting to believe in that you can have the things that you want without the anxiety. You don't want to be like I want to create a girlfriend here and then start to become in anticipation because she's not already there. You can just start to see visions, like different visions of things you want in your life, and relax and enjoy the life that you already have, and just see what comes in, like what comes in with the harvest. Some years the potato will grow real big, but the raspberries won't have a good year at all. So you can't really control what is going to come back to you. That's bigger forces at stake that's going to control the harvest, or give you different comebacks from this harvest, and you can't really decide it. It's not up to you to control. What you can control is what kind of seeds you put in the ground and how much work you put into to creating this or helping the harvest on its way. But what is actually being harvested in the end, it has to do with so many other things. So you shouldn't be in anticipation, and a farmer like this needs a lot of patience, with the 7 of Pentacles is also talking about, but also the igniting power of longing, like I want to eat raspberries when the late summer comes, and then you plant this and you nourish it. But you will also of course be disappointed if nature isn't really providing you with raspberries this year. Maybe it was too rainy or too little insects or whatever. And this is of course a tale of your life. I'm not talking about everyone being a farmer. I'm talking about, for example, longing for a girlfriend. You need to go out and search for her, a boyfriend as well, and you need to have patience, and know that things are not going to come just because you snap your fingers, but you can take the step towards it, and the step towards all the things that you want in your life, and aim towards more the positive sides of life, like things that you want, instead of focusing so much about what you don't want, because focusing on what you don't want is going to get more of what you don't want. And because this is your aim of creation, where you are putting your effort, and therefore it will be created. But if you can focus more on what you are grateful for and what's making you happy and what you're longing after, the crop can be so much more exciting. So yes, the 6 elements, earth, wind, fire, water, spirit and ether, to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading for my dear Virgo viewers. So I want my dear Virgos to have love in their lives and to find themselves in loving relationships. I also want you to have creative success and to be able to walk on your highest path towards your highest destiny. Okay, so my dear Virgos, I will just tune in for a few seconds here. So my dear Virgos, this is your future there, going into October, and this is your now, so September there, and this is your past, so this might be the summer. And in the summer here we have another 7. 7s are always spiritual challenges. Our life is just fine, and then the 7 enters and you're starting to brood over different sides of your life. With the 7 of Pentacles, it can be, why isn't it here yet, the things I have been dreaming about. With the 7 of Cups, why do I feel this way like I always have been feeling? Why am I always disappointed in this way? Why are people always disappointing me? So it's some kind of thing that's going again and again in your life. It's not there to really, upset you or bug you. It's there to challenge you to grow. So we have all people have certain soft spots or even wounds where we easily become vulnerable or even wounded, sometimes this situation occurs and reoccurs in our lives, and it becomes fueled by both momentum but also your expectation that this will happen, like with jealousy, that if you are jealous, you are creating like a situation where you are not the friend to your partner, but actually they are kind of your enemy, a person that can hurt you, and you're starting to treat them like an enemy, and soon you will have the pain that you were so much wanting to avoid. So this is some kind of schooling that's going on here, learning, teaching you to deal with your feelings in a more productive way, probably. Your projections, 7 of Cups is projections. This person, they are perfectly all right in this situation. No one is like poking on them with a spear or trying to push them into the water, but still this person is thinking about something that isn't even there, like something that happened yesterday or last year, or like when they were young. They are reliving this, so their body is feeling like they are in this place where they were once. And it's very unhealthy also for the body. But how can we then prevent ourselves from getting hurt? The answer is we can't. Okay, what we need to do is to learn to deal with our emotions. So if someone is actually cheating on you at this moment, you want to take very good care of yourself. Probably put boundaries towards that person. Okay, you were unfaithful, so you have been proven to be a person I can't trust. Therefore, you won't be one of my trusted people anymore. And that's that. So mostly we are fearful of the consequences. We love a person and we don't want to lose them because they have cheated. But if they cheat, we know that we can't be with them because they have spoiled our trust, and that's also proof of them not loving you enough. So what you're scared of in the bottom might be you are not lovable or not worth loving, or you are not loved by this person. So this is really where the shoe is like pinching your toes. It's not this about jealousy, because it's just an imagination that this will happen. It's an imagined fear. What's really going on is something within you, and you are mirroring this as a projection, like a movie on the outside, by creating these situations in your life. So what you need to deal with is your feelings, and they are not your enemies. Listen to them. They have important messages. For example, if you can't trust a person, if you always fear that they will cheat, well, break up with them, because obviously your subconscious is warning you that they will be unfaithful. So don't bug your own life. Don't bother their lives by accusing them of being unfaithful. If you feel like this is it, listen to your feelings and act accordingly. And if you think that it's not this person cheating that's the problem, it's something within me that's the problem, well, go and seek a psychiatrist that can help you deal with this imaginations that you have here, the old memories. This Seven of Cups is connected to the Moon card. Water stores memories. You have been through something that was traumatic maybe, and that's making you repeat a certain pattern in your life. It doesn't have to be like a person cheating. It can be also being with people that's abusive, or always believe that a person will be abusive. So it can be so many different things. It doesn't, I'm just giving examples so you can have a picture inside your head and then put this image to where it belongs in your life. And here we have the Eight of Pentacles. So this is the repetition of it all, but it's a good thing. We are here to repeat our damages or our traumas and dramas, because we are learning something from them. Our dramas and traumas actually point out to where we are not just fully healed. So we are going to repeat this over and over and over again until it's just not scary anymore. It will be like, okay, so the guy was unfaithful, sorry, to hell with him. Okay, bye-bye. I thank you for the time that we have been together, but now it's over. So because it won't bother you anymore. You have had 1 million spouses that have been unfaithful, so it's like, well, you know the drill by now. So this is where life is taking us, not so we will become numb to life experience, but we will have eventually the tool to master them, and we won't feel like lost sheeps in the desert just because someone did us wrong. We will have the capacity to deal with this, and this is what the Eight of Pentacles is talking about. You doing something over and over and over again until you have the capacity to deal with it, or becoming a master, for example, in manufacturing stars, or dealing with people that betrays you, or dealing with heartbreak, or dealing with not getting the job that you wanted, or dealing with people being rude or whatever. It won't trigger you anymore because you have been through it. Like, people have been rude towards you so many times. So eventually it's like you don't take it personal anymore. You realize that, okay, this is about this other person. They are a rude person. I don't have to be triggered by this because it has nothing to do with me. And that's when you're starting to become healed. No one can touch a man of Tao, man or woman of Tao. Okay, and here we have the woman, Queen of Pentacles. That's you, Virgo. And well, we had this Seven of Cups here, and your Eight of Pentacles there, and the end result, when you have gone through this and like all the projections and everything, you find out that, heck, I'm quite all right. I don't have to worry so much about this, if this person is loving me or not loving me, faithful or not faithful, if they are loyal or not loyal. I am loyal to me. I love myself. I love my life. I love what I do. I love everything. Because it's created by me, for me, and I'm taking care of myself. I'm not this little lamb outside in the desert. I have the capacity to take very good care of myself. So now it's not only spring, it's actually like full summer, and it's self-love, and you find home inside yourself. You don't have to have support from others at all times in your life. You can still get along by just the support from you. And this is also about harvest, and it's perfect, of course, for the month of fall that we are going towards. So this is your past, and we have the Magician. So the Magician is a person that's very well equipped to create whatever they want in their lives. And sometimes they create things that they don't want because they are focusing on the bad things, and therefore they are repeating bad bad, yes, it repeats bad situations in your life. So the magician is like an architect. He needs to dream forth the future. So this is a way to dream for the future, to see a vision of it, and try to see a nice vision instead of like the vision of how you were disappointed at this part of your life. We need to deal with the emotions of the past, but we don't have to make a story out of it. We can just feel the feelings of that situation and not tell, oh, they were so evil towards me, or they did me wrong, or this or this happened, because this is just wounding you or hurting your body. But if you stay with the emotion of it all, like when you were betrayed, for example, and you stay with the vibration, you will learn something from this frequency. It's like telepathic language between you and your feelings that will make you evolve and learn things from this situation. It's a little bit mystical because we can't really understand it, but it's much like electricity. It's just a frequency vibration of feelings. So if you stay with the feelings of that situation, that in itself has the intelligence to both heal you and give you the wisdom, the schooling from this situation, what you needed. And then instead of focusing, like being this bad magician that focusing on the past and therefore repeating the past over and over again, you can focusing on healing your feelings and focusing on gratitude. I'm so grateful for some things that's worth to be grateful for. It doesn't have to be big things. It can be just having something that you feel pleasure of in this moment. For example, being warm. Or having a glass of water within your reach, feeling the water against your lips, against your tongue, and the feeling of the water coming down through your body. It can also be like a beautiful smell or whatever sensory perceptive thing you can reach out at this moment. You just need that to put yourself in a vibration of gratitude that will be very prosperous for your creations. So this is the creator, and hopefully you have created beautiful things here. And he hasn't, of course not. The Four of Cups. So this is what I'm talking about. You have been through this kind of situation, and you're focusing on this, what you have been through, and you're creating kind of more of the same. And this is not something you have done to yourself willingly. It's just automatically. And this is what you need to become aware of so that you can change the pattern and create more beautiful things in your life instead of the same old that you're anyway started to get tired of. But the Four of Cups doesn't come just with burdens, even if it's a little bit of a sad card. It's also talking about this with digesting your feelings. You're like sitting with them, meditating on them, befriending them, holding their hands, comforting them a little bit, treating them like they were your little sibling that you are taking care of in a very loving way. So that is going to make you heal, not just this emotion inside of you, but you will start to heal, and things will become less problematic for you. When you don't have a wound anymore, it doesn't matter what people do. You won't be really touched by it. You will actually start to become more tolerant, more self-loving, more sure of yourself, less touchy-feely, less bitter, more like grown up and unconditionally loving. So it's a maturity process which you are going through here. And it's talking about you getting more responsibility for your own creations. It's something that happens when we are in a spiritual path, that we get more and more energy at our disposal. And we are standing there like this magician, but with a fire hose of energy. It's so much energy. And towards where we aim this energy, it's what we are going to create. Unfortunately, you're a little bit beginner at this, so you are creating kind of the same old. Because you're thinking so much about the gruesome things that happened to you in the past. So currently you are, or here in the past, like in the summer, you were creating things that wasn't to your liking because you were thinking about things you didn't like. And then the fire hose of energy was aim towards this, and therefore multiplying this situation. So more of the same, more of the same. But when you get aware about this, you can change the course of this energy, like fire hose of energy, towards gratitude, for example. Not towards making God happy or making your mother happy, but making you happy. Starting to learn to feel the vibration of happiness through gratitude to what you already have. So it's very simple. It's very easy. You can reach to it very easy. Just find one thing that you are happy about today, and that will put you in a, like, aiming your energy towards a much happier place and creating more of these happy things. And you just need to feel the vibration of it. You don't have to, and it will create beautiful things that will give you the same sense of happiness. If you're aiming your energy towards what feels bad, you are going to create more situations of various different situations that makes you feel bad. And here we have a King of Cups. So King of Cups might be a Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces. In this situation, it feels like you are starting to heal. Okay, when we put a lot of attention inside our body and start to heal it from within, eventually we get less reactive with things happening on the outside, because there's nothing to touch inside of here. You have healed yourself. So the more you can focus on your own healing. One good thing to do when you want to heal is just sitting like this person here, watching the ocean or just watching the wall in your bedroom. It doesn't matter. And be able to stay like this for maybe an hour a day is the goal. You don't have to try it at once. Try 1 minute and then 5 and 10 and 15. But if you can do this, eventually you will start to calm down your system and put more and more attention into your healing. In the olden days, people did this automatically because they had a boring time. Now we are not bored. We have our telephones, our TVs, our computers. We are always preoccupied with something, so we don't have these moments of healing. So we need to deliberately put them into our lives and have like boring moments in our lives where our system can catch up and heal the broken things inside of us, especially in our psyche. So we will start to, when we heal, we don't have to put a lot of attention to the things that aren't healed, because there's no such thing. So take more moments to heal. And you have also the dog here showing loyalty. So when you are loyal towards you, other people will become loyal towards you as well, and start treating you better. Yes. And this is in the now, so that will be when we are going into September, probably. For some of you, it will happen sooner or later. It's a little bit different, but the energy is dragging all of us with us eventually. Okay, and here you have the Six of Swords, and it comes underneath the Magician. So this is you starting to become aware what's in your heart and what's in your mind. So no longer just the head going around or the heart going around feeling the same thing. And it usually starts with you feeling bad, and then you start thinking about what's make you feel bad, and then you start to become bitter, and then you start to create this in your future as well as it was in your past. But here you will become more aware. You will feel your feelings. You will be aware. This is rather sunny here, but it's like a sundown or sunset. And you're starting to become aware of what you're thinking. You see they have their eyes set on the target, so they are awake, they are aware, they are not sleeping. So you're becoming aware of what's in your head and what you are creating. So you're moving from troubled waters to better waters, because you are more aware of your creations. Here is the Hermit also in this boat. And your anima and animus, male and female archetype. And here we have the Alchemist. So the Alchemist is a card about integrating your shadow, seeing more things with you. So for many of you, it will be being less of a victim and becoming more of a creator, like taking more responsibility for the creative process, and also investigating a little bit. If I do this, what will be created? If I do that, what will be created? Because the alchemist, the Feralt here, is a little bit like a scientist. We can see the rainbow is a very lucky symbol. It's like you have found something out, and now everything is going to become so much better. So you have a lot of things here talking about a troublesome past, but you now being focused on healing this and finding out things to improve your life. So this alone, like the intention alone, is giving you a lot of more energy to aim towards the right direction. The Feralt can also be sometimes it's a Sagittarius, sometimes it's something that you are very passionate about. Something that you long for. It's like a mission or something that fulfills your life purpose, or a great love, something that excites you, like it excites this scientist. It can be different things. You want to find out more. You are curious. You have like passion inside of you that leads you to investigate the situation more and find out more, and therefore becoming more wise in the process. And here we have Cernunnos. So the alchemist, the Feralt, is about taking in your shadow and making it part of yourself. So before you were maybe more like acting like the victim, like, oh, they are so cruel towards me. But here you are taking in your shadow, like your strength probably. And this is going to make you take more responsibility, but you're not going to be able to paint yourself off as being all pure, like all white, Snow White. We often like this when we see victims. We want them to be Snow White. We don't want victims that have sometimes done something bad, because that makes them a horrible victim, because then are they really a victim, or is it just that they get their just desserts? So sometimes we can be very focused on being like Snow White. We want to be perfect. We don't want to be flawed. And I'm thinking this is what have put you in the victim situation in the first place, because you didn't say no. You wanted to be nice. You didn't want to argue. You didn't want to come out as evil person or a selfish person, but this is the side of you that you kind of have missed out on. All people have seen this side to you anyways. It's like when I try to be in a certain way, everyone else will see what it is that I'm trying to run away from, because it's not gone anywhere. It's just me that have become unaware of me doing this. So they will still see if I'm pissed off, even if I'm trying to be really nice about it. And this is, now it's you, not only others being aware of you being pissed off, for example, passive aggressive, I can imagine, with you being like playing the victim role and being like wanting to be real good. Passive aggressive probably, but here you are like taking in a side to you that you really need, and that's going to make you whole. And it's also going to make you take responsibility for the sides of you that you don't like, and you're going to make them into sides, personality traits that you actually like, because you have good use of them. For example, to be pissed off in a situation where you are entitled to be pissed off, instead of pretending like everything is fine. So I'm thinking you are bringing up your strength here. For some of you, you are this Scorpio. We have Capricorn here, Sagittarius. It's very fiery. You might be dealing with someone that you think is rather hard to deal with. Maybe a boyfriend or a girlfriend from hell here. Someone that you love but might be abusive, for example. But they're just trying to trigger you into probably, seeing the truth of the situation and act accordingly. So it's not deliberate, of course, but they have gone down here in this role. You have gone down in this role. You're all playing your roles so that this person will learn something and you will learn something. So they have gone down in a body that has maybe ancestral memories of being very abusive and therefore becoming abusive themselves, so they can abuse you. So you will wake up and realize, well, I don't like to be a victim. This is not what I'm going to continue being. So I'm going to take up my strength, like the part of me that I put in prison, for example, and I will take that in. I'm thinking about something that has been like a synchronicity in my life the last week just. I've seen 3 different documentary programs, and in all of these they have it has been like a little bit different. One has been about criminals on death row. One has been about criminal forensics, and one has been about diseases, like mysterious diseases in people. And in all these 3, they have said a word that I didn't know of before. It was new to me because English isn't my native language, and it was solitary confinement, I think. I think you say it like that. And it's isolation cell, you say in Swedish, not with the English words, of course. It's isoleringscell, if I'm going to say it in Swedish, but the words meaning isolation cell. So I have never heard this word, and it comes again and again, and it came up when I'm seeing this. So I'm thinking you have Cernunos in isolatory confinement, and it seems like it has a lot to do with your heart. So sometimes we get very much in love with a person that has our opposite, like that hold our shadow, because they are representing something that we have inside of us, but we haven't cultivated. So we fall in love with this personality trait in another person, even if it irritates us to death. It doesn't have to be that this person is irritating. It can be just a very big love that you have for someone, or feeling very drawn to towards something. And 8 of Pentacles, and why you are drawn towards this is because you are going to do something that's very healthy. It's repetitive, you have done it before, but if you make it this time, it will be like you graduating, or being able to really like complete some part of your mission or something similar to that. And if you have had problems with a relationship, where maybe you have had to stop some kind of abuse or something that wasn't like really healthy in the relationship, it seems like you might be able to overcome these differences, and that you still love the person, and that still things to be done to heal this situation, and that they are actually just another you. They are just a mirror of you. So they have done you the courtesy of showing you what you are missing out on, or what part of you that you have put in isolatory containment. Did I say that? Maybe it was another word. Isolatory confinement. So maybe it was like that. Okay. So in September, it seems like you're working very hard to put in the missing pieces, like finding out the missing pieces inside of you. Tools that you will need, probably strength, probably becoming like a little bit more in your own authority, trusting yourself more so you don't have to control yourself in every situation. Like, this is how it should be done. I should be doing like this. I should be acting like this. This is not polite. I should have shut up. Stop with those. That is the mind janking your chain. Okay, the monkey mind. Try to trust yourself more. If I said that, it was probably the truth in that situation. I needed to say it. Maybe the person also needed to hear it. Maybe not. Maybe it will cause problems, but anyway, it was what I needed to say in that situation. And if it caused problems, it will also cause me to learn something new. Going outside your comfort zone doesn't mean that you have to be rude in situations. Just means that you should be less rude towards yourself. Okay. And this is the future here, and we have Justice, and it comes underneath the Magician and 6 of Swords. So it might be someone that has been maybe janking your chain actually on the outside. You have the monkey mind on the inside, but you might have someone that manipulates you and, controls you a little bit on the outside, like someone that they might want you to be sad, or maybe want you to have some kind of drama, and because it makes them feel upfilled. I'm seeing this row, Magician, 6 of Swords, and the Justice. I'm thinking this person have come to a better understanding of what's really going on between you, and they might want to come and apologize. I'm not sure that they will have the guts to do it, but in themselves they are probably realized one thing or two, and if they were brave enough they would tell you, but maybe they don't want to give you the win. I'm not sure, but I'm thinking that there's a person in your life that might feel that, maybe not that they're sorry, but they have found out that that they have been acting in a way that might not have been all that great. Okay, so we can use the truth to that too, to start seeing what we have done to people in our unawareness from our shadow, when we didn't realize what we did, because the devil here on our shoulder will continue being a devil on our shoulder even when we don't see it. It's like in the Bible when he said you can't see the log in your own eye. It's so easy to see a problem on another person, and with another person, but you can't see the problems with yourself. So it's some kind of self-realization here, either from you or from another person. So if it's not you finally finding out that, oh, I should have now I realize that I should have been like this instead, or I should have I didn't see that I was behaving like this, or that I tried to control that person. If that isn't you, it's probably someone in your surrounding that now have this realization. Yes. And here we have the Tower. So here the insight comes, and some people is falling from the Tower. So it's someone that might have been wanting to sit like a little bit on their high horse and win, and maybe, not see their own problems with their own self. They are now going to have like a realization that, so this is what I have been doing. For me, for instance, I have this rude capacity to, sometimes I get so eager when I want to tell something that I know, and I forget to listen. So that can be a thing, and we all have those things, and the more of these we can see, we don't condemn ourselves for them. We just realize that, I have so much I want to share. I want to let everyone knows all this what I have collected, all this what I know, but that it can be a time and a place for it. Okay, it doesn't have to be like when someone else wants to tell their life story, for example. So it's very in this situation here where you're at, it seems like you are reconsidering things, both personal behavior and other people's behavior, and you're starting to aim towards what's more positive. It's like you're leaving some old cloudiness behind, or some old things like a crutch, something that you have used as a crutch. It made you feel good, but it wasn't really giving a good outcome. For example, if this person have been always wanting to win over you and be the one that's right, and have the last word, and now they realize it didn't give them anything, because it made you, if this is you, look somewhere else for your happiness. So this is what I'm feeling for some of you in this situation here, that if they have done something that made you stop loving them, they will start to figure out, okay, what was it that was wrong? And they will start thinking about this, and they will probably find the truth in some kind of eureka moment. And this might happen to you as well. Sometimes it's happening simultaneously with both people or all people, or it can just happening with this other person or with you. And what I can see here is more this with happiness. Okay, so I can actually stop focusing on this person that is bothering me and start focusing on things that actually doesn't bother me. And eureka, that made me happy. So it's actually taking down like old structures here that has been there. For example, thinking about the gruesome past, or talking ill about something, or always complaining about the weather. It gives us a certain kind of like chemical release. It makes us feel safe in the environment, and it's like something we can have control over, and it gives us, it's a little bit like an addiction. And if we can stop it, and you know, start building on something that is more prosperous, being thankful for whatever weather we have, because if it wouldn't change, it would either be a desert or, you know, the bottom of this ocean. So to be grateful for also the weather change, and to not and to stop yourself when you're starting to, you want to smack talk someone because it makes you feel more and more close to the person in front of you, and you stop doing that. It will be like a fresh morning after a thunderstorm. It's like a beautiful awakening that actually gives you hope, because you see that there's other ways of doing things than the same old. And this realization is going to it's the truth, and it's going to set you free. Okay, beautiful. So some kind of truth. It might be someone also coming and saying that they're sorry, and that might be like unsettling for you in some way, or surprising. This can sometimes be like falling in love even. You have also the alchemist card here, so maybe being totally bored with life and then suddenly falling in love here, and then you lose all control, because love is like God that comes in our lives and make us love someone, and it doesn't let go until the work is done. So it's very strong force that's coming in, and we have no control. And this is also a card of having no control, so it's some kind of surprise element to this. And here we have the Fool. So that is someone kind of deliberately jumping cliff here, or jumping ship. And it comes underneath the King of Cups and the Cernunnos. So I'm still thinking that there might be someone coming and apologizing. It's like they have had an epiphany. Maybe they remember all the good things you gave them, and now they are sorry because they see that maybe they didn't really contribute to the beauty of your situation. So with the Fool, it's also a new beginning, and we have 1, the Magician here, 14, and the Fool. So it feels very prosperous. If you can start focus on what you do want instead of what you don't want, I think you will kind of change your life a great deal, and totally to the better. So you have a lot of responsibility in this situation. And also notice 14, 15. So that's interesting. 5 and 6. So it has something to do with the divine masculinity and love. So it might be that the divine masculinity in both you and other people is starting to give up their guns. Like stop being so anxious to win or be on top, or, you know, be the boss, or have like control and power. Maybe other things is starting to matter. That's not this power and control. So I'll read a little bit about the Ferret for you. It is Beltane. In the distance we see Glastonbury, Tor, and Callis Hill on the horizon, joined by a rainbow. In the foreground we see Brigid. She is both Brigid, the goddess of flame, and holy well, and a woman in her service, a Ferret, or druid alchemist, who combines the power of fire and water to create harmony, balance, and transformation. Standing in her roundhouse beside her cauldron, she mixes a potion from which steam is rising, symbolizing fire and water mixed with air. She pours a red liquid in a vessel containing white liquid to make gold, eternally mixing the waters of life in a process which is erotic, medicinal, alchemical, and philosophical. Around her, we see herbs drying, a besom propped against the wall, and parchment manuscripts being stretched with witch stones, stones of pebble or flint with naturally formed holes in them, to ward off evil, and also known as hag stones, fairy stones, or ace stones. Since this card represents the great work, the great right, at a deeper level than portrayed in the Lovers card, Cernunnos 1 + 5, the Lovers 6, we see its symbol as a hexagram, along with the related symbols of the snake and egg, as found on a druid altar stone in Cumbria. So It's second degree of Druid or Wicca training for those of you that feels that you need a label on it. But what is happening here is that you are accepting more sides to you. And it's like I feel that there's a sacrifice or a release. Someone is releasing an old standpoint, and it actually makes them a bigger person, a better person, and more stable, less wobbly in their psyche, more sure, and therefore less bitter. So this is not just you, it's also other people I'm feeling in the mix. So this is something that happens both you and other people simultaneously. And it's an opening of our heart, I would think, and like an admittal of responsibility. Also, being able to take responsibility for what we have done, and changing without guilt, without feeling like, oh, I'm so a bad person. You don't have to feel like that. You just feel, oh, so I find this thing here, what I'm doing, I have been doing it like the monkey mind has been doing it without me really being aware. So I will just change it. I will do like this instead. So it's very fresh. It's like this, the morning after the rain. Beautiful. Okay, so I will take a Sacred Rebels Oracle for my dear Virgos. And it's going beyond normal. A lot of buttons. And you see the inspiration here, the light bulb and the flash. So, and it's like a scientist. You have the scientist here. It's something you are going to very much figure out. It's also the card number 14. 14 here, 14 there. So, on the path of life, there are deciding moments where we can choose to go with the mainstream, or we can dare to take a bolder, more authentic and trusting way, even if it seems riskier or less safe. To rely solely on logic and science without incorporating the mysterious and magical is a recipe for an experience that is far too dry. The sacred rebel within our hearts will always choose a juicier approach to life. You are currently approaching such a choose point. You could say that the choice is about balance. The Ferret is about balance, Justice is about balance, and the King of Cups is about healing. So that's a person that's balanced. Yes, where were we? It's less about choosing to honor either art or science, gardening or architecture, and more about integrating all approaches so that you enhance rather than hinder your life journey. So, basing decision on limited factors with an imbalanced measure of success is unnecessarily limiting. So this is something I think people have done. They have based their decision making on, for example, winning power, or either being the victim or the perpetrator, the victim wanting to be all white and the perpetrator wanting all power. So, and here it's like we understand that this was a limiting factor. This approach prevents us from living freely, spontaneously, and with trust so that we can rebel against the need for things to go strictly accordingly to plan. Choose to value decision based on passion and instinct and trust in life enough to embrace it as an adventure and let it unfold as it will. There's a time and place for logic, strategy, planning, and measurable outcomes. These are not bad tools to have, but we must be vigilant not to worship them or allow them to quash our less rational but equally valuable decision-making tools, intuition, feeling, and those things you know without knowing how you know them. The flowing inspirational energy of the heart may have no conceivable basis in logic or reason and still be uncannily accurate. To remain rebellious, we must not sacrifice the art of emotion, instinct, passion, and intuition for the science of logic and strict planning. On the other hand, gardening and art do provide us with a plan, albeit more loosely held. This plan still requires us to set aside time, to draw upon reliable methods, and to prepare with certain tools. However, there is also a healthy dose of organic flow, responsiveness, and trust in the creative process of bringing something to life. This leads to cultivation of the most beautiful, abundant, and successful garden and the most vivid healing art. So you're asked to have a very open, intuitive approach to life, and if you have been very logical, you're supposed to become more open-hearted. If you have been very open-hearted and whimsical, maybe just following your subconscious and the intuition's whispering, you are supposed to become more logic. We have logic here. So it's all about balance, learning a new skill and thereby being set free, because it's like you know now twice as much as you knew before. So you have twice as wide perspective on things. You have a greater understanding and it makes you free. You don't have to, there's not these things inside of you compelling you to, I won't admit to that they were right. That won't be there anymore. You will immediately call and say, yes, you were right, because that will give you this sense of, you know, this day when you wake up and there has been rain during the night, this refreshing feeling. So it's like the old is gone. It's kind of just, it's just gone. You're not working in this way anymore. You're working in a new way. You're not longer putting things underneath the carpet. It's out in the open and you're like standing for it. And it's also this element of happiness and passion which I'm feeling here. So I think the only thing you really need to do is to you know, be more grateful for the things that you actually have in your life, and starting to say things more straight from the heart, even uncomfortable truths, both to yourself and others. So it's not about pointing out someone's flaws. It's more about pointing out the obvious, like that the emperor has no clothes. Everyone already knew this. We just took into like social consideration that made everything look so skewed, like out of place and out of proportion. This old thing here. So now you're going to keep it more real, more passionate, more alive, and more true to who you are. So I'm thinking this is very beautiful and it's very strong, and it's like this. I'm thinking about Dirty Dancing again, and I had this in some other reading some months ago. Nobody put baby in a corner, and it feels like this is how you feel now. You are not going to be putting yourself in the corner, and that is what I'm feeling. Okay, so my dear Virgos, I hope this helped. I want you to take really, really good care and have a really happy birthday during the time to come, end of August and the first half of September, Virgo season. I also want to welcome you back to my mid-month September reading that I will perform in the beginning of September. Okay, bye-bye.